Hello lovelies, it's Lilah here with my new series, Love Bytes with Lilah, which I'm going to attempt to do weekly, although I'm not always good with being consistent, I have to admit that. I'm a healer and I practice here from my premises in Cape Town. I'm also a spiritual minister and run an online spiritual community and hoping to have an in-person one soon, once COVID allows us to connect again. So all of my details are below. Please subscribe, hit the notification if you like what I have to share. Send it to others if you feel people need to hear. And I want to thank you for listening deeply. So the Love Bites with Lilah is going to be a series around the soul. Since that is my specialization, it is where I work. I work with the field of the soul, the energy of the soul, the wisdom of the soul. And I'd like to call myself a caretaker of souls. So the soul in all its forms, whether it is here in the birth of a new baby, or whether it's transitioning or in the process of being transitioned from a person who is passing, and then along the journey of the human body, the human person in their lifetime. First, let me say that I am no guru. What I share with you has been gained from a lifetime's worth of spiritual meanderings. I reflect a lot, I meditate a lot. As a healer, I connect with my clients, and actually a lot of what I'm going to share with you has been a part of my work with clients, has been the learnings, the teachings, the understandings, the deeper understandings that I've gained by working with the soul. This particular video today is going to talk on ancestral curses. These are terminologies that are used in the energy healing or spiritual healing realm. I'm not necessarily fond of the word curse, but let's just use it for want of a better word. And let's just give you a brief indication of what I believe the soul to be. The soul is our vibrational expression. So the field itself is unseen, although it can be felt, heard, listened to in many ways if you develop a sensitivity and if you tune in on a very coherent level. So in my first of the series, which if you haven't watched, please watch, I'll share the link there. You'll know that what I said in terms of the soul is that it comes in with all of its memories, with its lifetime's worth of trauma, of beliefs, of experiences, and then in the incarnation into which you are presently living, it is connected in through the chakras and through the subtle bodies. Now, there is a misrepresentation or a misunderstanding that some people think the soul is pure. The cosmic soul is pure. In other words, that first birth, that first breath of energy from which you came. The soul itself, as a vehicle through which your consciousness travels, can retain lower vibratory imprints. The soul itself is a very high vibrational field. So when I talk about the soul becoming embodied into the physical body, it's an expression that is used to describe the fact that as we clear the heavier imprints of the soul out of our field, the more lighter, the more pure, the more high vibratory aspects can come and anchor in. It doesn't mean that your soul's not with you. Your soul is with you, but there are various expressions of that you hold. So for instance, if you have a heavier energy of anger that has either been present in this life or you have brought from another life, that anger is represented in your soul field. When the soul incarnates, it's almost like there's a suddenly remembrance of that, and the anger then is anchored in whichever aspect of your field retains that memory. And I don't want to get too deep into the subject because it can become complicated, and I'm sure I probably won't be able to find the words to describe it. But let's just say, like something settles and the heavier goes to the bottom, is that the heavier aspects of the soul that need healing invariably are anchored into the physical body and into the chakras. And now as we move to the #NewHuman, as we evolve, as we become more aware, more responsible, more accountable, and as we heal those aspects of self, then we really make way for the highest vibration of bliss, joy, unity, consciousness to move in. So in a nutshell, that's what I'm going to be talking about. If that floats your boat, please subscribe and listen to the series. Ancestral curses. Right, I have noticed that in a number of sessions with my clients, this is becoming more and more apparent because we are working very much with ancestral clearing at the moment. What does that mean? Well, energy never dies, right? Energy exists and everything is energy. So the fact that an energetic line or aspect can travel along physical lifetimes is not really that outrageous if you hold that belief, which I do, is that the soul is infinite and timeless, and the soul ultimately is energy, right? So some clients are quite shocked to hear that 2, 3, 4 generations ago something happened, and that negative imprint, that ancestral curse, if you like, has followed the line of physical incarnations. Now, if we can see that everything is connected, or understand everything's connected and that energy never dies, then if the energetic imprint is strong enough, and by strong enough I'm talking about intention, I'm talking about belief, which is a power source, then it can travel through lifetimes. So as an example, if you have incarnated in this lifetime and your soul contract is to eradicate a negative way of behaving or a negative belief, which is happening a lot at present, or that you are here to create a new timeline, perhaps your family were always victims, they maybe lived in the name, blame, shame energy, and you've decided, I'm not doing victim, I'm not doing the name, blame, shame, I'm going to set a new course, then you as a person, as a soul, then inject healing into that ancestral line, and you can effect healing from that point. Now, this can also happen with family members that may have passed. So to give you an example, if we had a grandfather who was maybe meddling in some not so nice business, and their partner went to a magician, a witch, or even knew intentionally how to work with energy, decided that I will damn you to hell, or you be damned. So be careful with words, right? We never, ever want to say to someone, go to hell, because energetically that has a huge negative imprint. So let's say at this point in time, 2, 3 generations ago, this was said, and that grandfather took on, or great-grandfather took on the negative imprint of being damned, right? It sends an energetic tendril, especially if coming from an emotion of anger, of ill intention, and literally attaches itself into the soul field of the person who is incarnated. Now, if it's not cleared in that lifetime, when that soul moves, the soul does take with it all of the memories and the traumas that were experienced, which is why energy healing and soul healing is going to be one of the most important therapies that we can look at in order to heal the nation, our human race. Because we want to remove those imprints from our soul field so that we can become clear and have a greater purity of heart field in order to connect and feel into unconditional love. So where was I? Okay, the story of the great-great-grandfather. Yes, so great-great-grandfather then passes on, not knowing what has happened energetically, but maybe having suffered a business loss, maybe his relationships crashed, ill intent all around him, and maybe he dies an old, bitter man. That soul retains the memory. Now, I'm not saying that every soul transitions with all of the emotions that are felt, because emotions are generally a human condition, but some energetic implants or imprints, like this curse, like this hugely negative intention, can remain stuck. And in a way, that person is still energetically to the individual who actually gave or sent the curse in the first place. Because we are all connected, right? We are all one field, because we are all birthed from the Great Mother, whether you look at it the Big Bang or something else. Everything is energy, everything is connected. So along the line of this lineage, you might find that maybe bad luck befell them, or things didn't work out in business, and now this person comes along in this incarnation, right? Feels uncomfortable about certain things, doesn't understand some dreams they have, realizes that their father or mother who they had who was so like almost bad in intent, and they had to suffer kind of in terms of trauma or abuse, but they've never understood this because they're not along that line or within that frequency, come to see me and say, on a physical level, I have no reason to feel this, but I'm here because I was called for a healing. And in the ancestral curse energetic imprint, I will pick up that generations ago this was imprinted in the field. And because the soul is infinite and timeless, because time doesn't exist in that realm, we can then disconnect and clear. And actually also what we're doing is we're healing the soul imprints or energy fields of those people that have lived along that curse line, so that they too, even though their soul has transitioned, whether they're reincarnated or not, can go on a higher realm. Because everything is about raising in spiritual ascension. Everything is about raising in consciousness. Everything is about moving towards an energetic field of joy, of bliss, of connection, of coherence, right? Where nature doesn't fight against one another. Yes, there are predator animals, but they work together to keep the system in harmony. Trees communicate with one another, plants work together. Everything about nature is community and understanding that they are part of a greater web. So, as I've mentioned before, trees for me are the highest sentient conscious beings. We need to be a bit more like a tree. So in terms of the soul journey then, an ancestral curse or an ancestral ill intention can be the source of a lot of pain, agony, and also a lot of stumbling blocks. There is so much that happens in the soul field. There is so much information there. There is also so much healing to be had there. So whilst, again, the cosmic soul, and that's my word, is the purest form of your blueprint or energetic vibration, the soul field, which is the vehicle through which your consciousness moves, gathers and keeps imprints and memories. And we're being asked now in this time of our evolution to really look into those and move those. And so I'm going to be talking more in the series of other soul conditions that can occur. I will talk about how souls can become entangled and intertwined, because we are being asked to stand solely and individually in our unique sovereignty. And basically that soul field is part of, and it is who we are naturally. It is our natural state. And so the more we can begin to connect in with that field by way of meditation, by way of contemplation, by way of being more connected to that field of wisdom, healing it, listening to it, clearing it, connecting to it, the more we can evolve as humans, and the more we will hopefully be able to live in peace and harmony. So without denying the sacred nature of the soul, because it is divine, it is part of creation, we must recognize that there is healing to be done, and that everything is energy. And so your behavior, your words, how you feel, how you speak, how you relate to everyone is all about an energetic connection. And we want to obey the one most fundamental law of the universe, which is the law of non-interference. Whether it's by word and gossip, whether it's by word and ill intention, whether it's feeling jealous, feeling hatred, those all create an energetic expression moving through our soul that entangle us with other people in a negative way. We want to remain centered in our heart field, as authentic as possible, feeling into our field, but only sending loving thoughts and vibrations, because love does not interfere. Unconditional love, not dependent love. And maybe that's a conversation for another day. But if you imagine that we were all in this field together, and that every action, thought, word spoken creates energetic tendrils, we don't really want to create those thick, sticky tendrils that are going to harm other people. We want to breathe consciously and stay in our own field with only loving thoughts and intentions as far as possible. We're also human and in the human condition, right? So I hope this is insightful. I hope it's interesting. Please engage with me because I'm here for you, and if there's anything you want to know, I will try and answer it. But I will continue this series of Love Bytes with Lilah every week. And look forward to my October energy update, which is coming out on Friday. I think that's the 1st of October. So hit the notify button so you can get a heads up on that. But it feels like an interesting month. Take care of yourselves, and much love from my heart to yours, my home to yours, and many, many blessings. Bye.